It's like the most important, biggest episode of my life, and I don't have an outline or a plan or anything. I'm just doing it. Hi, guys. It's me. I'm Alex. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Hey, Candace. What's up, everyone? Wow. I'm really doing it. Like, today on It's Me, I'm Alex. I'm finally gonna talk about the Beatles. Finally. Yeah, finally. Hey, Petra. How's it going? Hey, what's up, Zen? Hell yes. Good to see everyone. So, I've been wanting to do this episode that you're watching right now, like, with your own eyeballs. I've been wanting to do this since the beginning of the show. Like, it's all been leading up to this. You might as well, I wouldn't call this the movie, but like I've really wanted to do this episode, so I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna stress out about it. I've made like no preparations for it. Like, I'm doing it because I got a wild hair up my behind earlier, and I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. And I'm doing it. So tonight's the night. I'm gonna talk about the Beatles for the whole show. So, yay. Woo! And I know that not everybody likes the Beatles, and that's fine. It's okay. They are my favorite band, and I like them a lot. But they mean a lot more to me than, just like, hey, good morning, Pete. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Beatles night here at It's Me, I'm Alex. So, but I'm not gonna stress out about it, We're gonna be casual and talk about the Beatles. I'm gonna tell you my opinions on every single Beatles song that's been released.
Whoa.
And hopefully it won't be like a 45-hour long show. I think they got like roughly 200 songs, so I can do it. Hell yeah, Pete. My hottest Beatles take? Huh. I'll probably have a lot of hot Beatles takes when I start talking, so it depends on who you're talking to when what the hottest take is. I don't know. We'll see. I gotta get warmed up before I get hot. We'll see. Because we're gonna probably talk about some stuff, We're gonna talk about Yoko Ono, and I know when she comes up, it gets kind of divisive. I do have my opinions on her. We're gonna talk maybe about Mal Evans. We're gonna, I feel like there's some controversy there. So, I love Yoko too. Spoiler alert. So heck yeah. I was trying to find a good chronology. I mean, I could do it out of my head, but I don't want to miss anything, so I'm basically gonna use Wikipedia to guide me so that I get everything in order, but I'll take a lot of stuff from my head. But I love the Beatles, and I know a lot about them. They are my thing. So let me... the ladybug is a nice beetle. I don't like it when dogs eat them though, and they get all up in the roof of their mouth. It's pretty weird. Oh, and Daisy, speaking of dogs, come on out, Daisy. I'll give Daisy a hand. Yay. We love Daisy. Oh, I keep thinking I'm gonna switch to a game. We're not switching to a game. We're talking tonight about the Beatles. Oh man, this is weird. I haven't done a straight talking episode in a while, but that's fine. Even though I'm talking about the Beatles, y'all can talk at me about anything you want to. You know, I gotta get used to talking again. With all these DMCA, digital Millennium copyright things, you know, I gotta get used to creating my own content anyway, you know? Hey, what's up, OG Squats? That's fine. It's okay to not like the Beatles. It's totally fine. Like, nothing wrong with that. A lot of people don't like the Beatles for various reasons. And we can talk about that too. Like, it doesn't hurt my feelings one bit when someone is like, I don't like the Beatles, you know, like they think they're gonna hurt my feelings or something. But it don't hurt my feelings none. Just 'cause the Beatles don't mean as much to you as they do to me don't mean a hill of beans of nothing. So... Oh, Petra, you had a ladybug in the bathroom? How'd that go? Did she get clean? At least? But it's nice to meet you, OG Squats. It really is. I hope you're doing well tonight. Alright. Well, I gotta start somewhere. I mean, everybody knows who the Beatles are. The Beatles were a band from Liverpool, England. And they were born between 1940 and 1945, pretty much during the Second World War. And Ringo, I think, is the oldest Beatle, and he was also the most financially underprivileged Beatle. His family didn't have a whole lot of money. And then John Lennon was born next, and his family kind of had a bunch of money. Like, they didn't want for nothing. But John Lennon's mom, like, you know, she was wild and stuff, so she wanted to party a bunch, and his dad wanted to party a bunch. And so John Lennon just kind of lived with his Aunt Mimi. He saw his mom a little bit growing up, but not until he was a teenager did they really start reconnecting. And then there was Paul McCartney, and his family didn't have a whole lot of money either, but they got by. His family was really musical. Aw, OG Squats, you got me. Dang. OG Squats was just joking.
Cool.
Yeah. I love a good prank. And then George Harrison, he's the youngest Beatle. And his dad was a bus driver. And, you know, they were all just a bunch of kids in Liverpool. They didn't really know each other until they were teenagers. And then I guess, like, I don't know, when you read all the books, it's like, and then rock and roll happened. You know, it's like Elvis happened. And then it awoken all these children, and they're like, oh man, screw authority, and, you know, we gotta, you know, I don't know. And they started, like I think they, before rock and roll, they were like playing like this music called skiffle music. It's like country music, but like, I don't know. So John Lennon started this skiffle band called the Quarrymen. Yeah, at some point they did. Not when they were kids, though. They were probably smoking cigarettes when they were kids, because it was the 1950s. So, like, the Beatle babies were probably smoking cigarettes. But yeah, they were playing, like, their country music skiffle stuff, and John Lennon had a little band, and he was a little badass, and one day he was playing at some church thing with his little band called the Quarrymen. They're kind of like a cover band, basically. And then, like, Paul McCartney was there, and he's like, oh, look at that band. Hold on. Oh, look at that band. Oh, God. I'm going to do a lot of terrible British accents tonight. So after the show, John and Paul met, and Paul's like, oh, I play a little bit of the bass. Oh my God, I can't do this. And John Lennon was like, oh really, would you like to join me band? And Paul McCartney was like, oh yes, I would love to join me band. And John Lennon was like, great, come join me band. And then so like Paul McCartney and John Lennon started playing, you know, together. And Paul was like, oh, I forgot I have a little friend named George. And John Lennon was like, does he play well? And Paul was like, oh, yes. This is awful. Anyway, so then George joined the band, and they started jamming, and they, you know, played other people's songs, and they screwed around writing some songs, and, you know, it was okay. You know, like Elvis was on the radio and stuff, and they were, you know, blue suede shoes, and like, oh my God, blue suede shoes, like this changes everything. Heartbreak Hotel, and John Lennon would listen to his radio under the blanket and be like, oh my God, you know, like, I don't know. They didn't have nothing going on. They didn't have cell phones or anything, so like, all they had was rock and roll. Like, John Lennon loved rock and roll. Like when he in his interviews, he's always talking about it. He's like, "I love me rock and roll." You know, when rock and roll happened, blah blah blah. You know, it's like I don't know. I mean, rock and roll's good and all, but John Lennon really loved it. Like it was like Jesus coming down to earth or something. So like, yeah, John, Paul, and George were like, you know, they'd play their guitars together and they'd play like weddings and stuff. You know, nobody cared or anything. There was just a few people showed up or whatever, and they even paid this guy to record them one time. Like, they recorded a few songs. Like, they recorded In Spite of All the Danger, which was written by Paul. George Harrison wrote like the solo for it, but so he gets writing credit because they didn't know that just because you write the solo on a song don't mean you wrote the whole dang song. But that song's basically like a rip-off of an Elvis song, but that's okay. And they recorded a cover of a Buddy Holly song, That'll Be the Day. You know that song, That'll Be the Day? And those early recordings, they're kind of okay, you know, it's cool to hear them when they were young, but they're not great or anything. They put those out on the Beatles anthology. But, you know, they started playing with like Pete Best. He was like he wasn't their first drummer, but he was one of their first drummers. And like this dude, Alan Williams, got them a gig like playing at strip clubs in Hamburg, Germany. And so like they got this dude named Pete, right, to be their drummer, and they would go to They did. We'll get to that, I reckon. Yeah, so they would go to Hamburg, Germany and play at the strip clubs and stuff, and you know, that's kind of when they started doing drugs, because they were like doing speed and stuff, because the German guys were like, make show or whatever, and so like the Beatles would take a bunch of speed and play really fast and stuff. They made a movie about it in the 90s called Backbeat. It's got Stephen Dorff as Stuart Sutcliffe. He was their bass player, and his girlfriend created the Beatles haircut. Which, it's an okay movie, but the music in it's weird, because it doesn't really sound like the Beatles would have sounded like back then. That's fine. So yeah, the Beatles went to Hamburg, and they're like playing the strip clubs, and German people are all super into them, and they hooked up with this guy named Tony, and they were his backup band on a album, not an album, well, kind of an album. I don't know, he was doing like these rock and roll versions of like songs like My Bonnie Lies Over the Ocean and When the Saints Go Marching In, which is like weird. It's like if someone did like a dubstep version of She'll Be Coming Around the Mountain or something. Like that's what it makes me think of. Like why are you, what, I don't know. I cracked myself up. Okay. Now I want to hear like a dubstep She'll Be Coming Around the Mountain. Anyway. So yeah, the Beatles were his backup band on My Bonnie and When the Saints Go Marching In, and the story goes that some dude named Raymond like went to a music store in Liverpool and was like, hey, do you have, you know, that band playing My Bonnie Lies Over the Ocean? And the owner of the record shop, Brian Epstein, was like, what band? You know, it was like the Beatles. But I think that was like some sort of made up PR stunt. But this dude that owned a record shop, Brian Epstein, in Liverpool, he kept hearing about the Beatles and stuff. And the Beatles were, you know, they came back to England and they were like playing this club called the Cavern, which was like underground. It used to be a jazz club, but they started branching out to rock and roll because like that's where the money was. Anyway, like he went there to check them out and he was like, oh man, they're pretty good, but they're kind of rough behind the edges or around the edges or whatever. So like he offered to be their manager. And so like he's like, hey, my name's Brian Epstein. Epstein. Excuse me. Epstein. I'll say Epstein. And he's like, hey, if you stop like eating on stage and maybe wearing the same clothes, you know, like put on some suits, look more presentable, like you could make some real money doing this. And the Beatles were like, okay. So they did it, you know, because they wanted to get paid. They want to be rock and roll stars or whatever. And so they started putting on suits and stuff. Brian Epstein got them an audition with Decca Records on New Year's Day, like 1960. Like they were hungover and stuff, and they went there and they auditioned. But Decca Records was like, hell no. The legend goes that Decca said that guitar music was on its way out, but that's disputed. They signed another group that played guitars, so that didn't make any sense, but they say that people say they signed the other group because they lived closer to the record label and they wouldn't cost as much money. So the Beatles didn't pass that audition, that's fine. And then they auditioned for EMI. And it was like a sub-label, like Parlophone or something, for George Martin. And George Martin, who produced most of their records, like, he never really produced rock and roll before. Some of the stuff that I've read said that they made him produce the Beatles as a punishment because he was like cheating on his wife or something. Something like that, I don't know. They're like, yeah, you gotta produce these Beatle guys and, you know, good luck with that. So like, you know, they went and auditioned for him and he's like, you know, y'all are pretty good, but like, your drummer kind of sucks. You know, talking about Pete. And Pete wasn't that great. I mean, there's recordings of Pete playing drums with the Beatles, and it's, you know, not bad, but it's not that great. So, like, they released a song on Anthology of him playing Love Me Do, and it's like all over the place. Like, seriously. But like, George Martin was like, you know, you can keep Pete, but like, when we record in this professional ass recording studio, like, we're gonna have to use like a, you know, a real dude who like knows how to play the drums or whatever. And then Brian Epstein was like, oh, I guess we gotta fire Pete. So Brian Epstein fired Pete Best, and There was this dude named Ringo who was like in this band called Roy Storm and the Hurricanes. And he was like the best rock and roll drummer in Liverpool. And they asked him to be the drummer. He had actually filled in for Pete Best like 1 or 2 times. And so like they made him the drummer. But like when the Beatles got with Ringo and they went to their first recording session with Ringo, George Martin was like, nobody told me Ringo was coming. And so he still used a studio musician. Ringo had to play the tambourine at the very first Beatles session that he went to. So, yeah. And then I guess that gets us up to speed with where we begin with the Beatles music. I guess I'll start with like their first album, and then we'll go all the way to their last album. That's cool. Is that cool?
Yep.
Okay. Let's see. I hope everyone's doing well out there. I know this isn't as interesting as me like doing a video game or something, but after we get this over with, you know, we'll get back to the other stuff. But I just gotta get all this out if that's cool. So yeah, the Beatles went and recorded their first single. They recorded the Love Me Do and P.S. I Love You single. And all the singles are on the compilation Past Masters, so I think I'll cover the singles at one time and then I'll talk about the albums, but let's see. Yeah, Please Please Me was their first album. And it's got this cover here. Taken by Angus McBean, I think his name is, and they're looking down the stairs. I like this cover. It's pretty cool. They look very cheeky. Alright, let's talk about the songs. The album opens up with I Saw Her Standing There. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that song's kind of weird because, like, Paul McCartney's like, well, she was just 17, and you know what I mean? So, like, that's kind of, like, weird. It's like, well, she was just 17, and you know what I mean, and the way she looked was way beyond compare. Kinda, it is. You know, like, when it's like 60-year-old Paul McCartney singing it, it's kind of yikes, but when Paul McCartney wrote this song, he was like a minor. He started writing this probably when he was 16 or 17 years old. So, like, you know, there's that. So, I know it's fun to joke about, like, oh, you know, gross, but I mean, what is kind of a little more gross is that, like, Ringo Starr had a hit in the 70s with a song called You're 16, which was like a cover of a 50s song. So if you're looking for, like, yikes, there's the yikes, but this song's pretty innocent when you consider the context. But and the bass line for I Saw Her Standing There was ripped off from a Chuck Berry song, but Chuck Berry didn't care. And then the next song on the album is Misery. And that's a good song. It's like the world is treating me bad, misery. It's kind of weird, but I like it. I think as far as early Beatles songs go, it's pretty cool because it's not, just like generic love song kind of stuff. And then Anna, Go to Him is a cover song. That song goes and I like that one. I really like Please Please Me as an album. I like the sound of it. Chains, I like Chains. The song's by Carole King. And I think George Harrison sings that one. And Boys is a weird song because it was originally sung by a girl group. And it's extolling the virtues of, like, romantic interest in boys, which is fine. But, like, then the Beatles covered it, and as far as I know, they were like heterosexual dudes. But then they tried to sing this song and change it a little bit so that, like, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense from that perspective, but it's weird. But it was like Ringo and Pete Besta's signature song. And then Ask Me Why is a early original song, and I always liked that one. And then there's the title track, Please Please Me, and it has a harmonica on it, and I think one of my least favorite things about the early Beatles is all the GD harmonica. Like, I don't like it. Nothing against the harmonica, but I don't know, something about the early Beatles songs and harmonica just doesn't sit well with me. And I'll say it. But with that said, the next two songs were the first single, Love Me Do and P.S. I Love You, and actually, I don't mind the harmonica on Love Me Do. So, there's that. And I think P.S. I Love You is a nice little tune, so. Baby It's You is a cover song, and it's a nice little tune. I like it okay. And Do You Want to Know a Secret is sung by George Harrison, and it was written by John Lennon, and I think it's a cute little song. So, A Taste of Honey is like from a play, and it's kind of, I don't know, it's okay. There's a Place is a John Lennon song, and I think it's, aside from the harmonica, it's one of my favorite songs on the album. It's introspective, and he's talking about going inside of his mind to like hide out from like the world or whatever. So it's a little bit deeper than a lot of early Beatles songs get. And then there's Twist and Shout, which everyone knows, and it's a great cover, and good job, Beatles. So that's Please Please Me. Let's see. Good job, Beatles. And then their next album was With the Beatles. This album, man, when I think of this album, I just think of Beatles albums that just sound muddy. Like, this album does not sound as good as their first album for some reason. Like, it's muddy. I don't know. Like, on these first two albums, they just recorded them on 2-track recording machines. And what that means is that they had basically two microphones. One microphone pointed at the instruments, and another microphone pointed at the vocals. And that's it. They recorded it all at once. And the first album sounds fine, but this album's just like, it's like they put a blanket over the microphone or something. I don't know. But when I think of like my least favorite Beatles albums, this album has some good songs on it, but like It Won't Be Long, yeah. Not into it. Hey, what's up, Secret Reagent? Good to see ya. And then there's like, All I've Got to Do is one of those songs where I'm like, do I know that song? Because I know every Beatles song, but then like, I think this is the one with Aeolian cadences in it. Like, some dude in the 60s was writing about it, and he said it had like Aeolian cadences or something, I don't know. I mean, it's not the worst song, but I don't know. All My Loving is a classic. That's Paul McCartney just like sitting there and going, I'm gonna write a classic song. It's like, close your eyes and I'll kiss you. Tomorrow I'll miss you. Hey, Secret Agent. Yeah, I'm going through all of it. I'm gonna try to. Remember. Yeah, All My Loving is a great tune, and the bass line is great. I think that's Paul McCartney's first classic song, so good job, Paul. You did it. Don't Bother Me was the first George Harrison original tune, and it's not that great. I mean, I don't know, it's like a love song, but it's like a moody love song, and it kind of sounds like a cowboy song, not like a western. I don't know, it's just yeah, songs are really short. But yeah, it's not George Harrison's best. It is a great title, you're right, but It's just not great. The next song is called Little Child, and it's just, why? Like, it's one of those songs, it's like, what is going on? Like, this is supposed to be like a song. It's like, little child, little child, little child, won't you dance with me? I'm so sad and lonely. Baby, take a chance with me. Like, what? Why? Exactly, like, you know, like this is a song, like, you know, by the great Beatles, and it's like, what is this? Like, words matter. Like, what are you talking about? Little child? Like, I don't... That's what I'm saying. And when I say I love the Beatles and all that, I can look at stuff like this and be like, dude, what? Like that doesn't... No. Little child. Like, I don't. So, I give this song 0 Alexes. Just all around. Till There Was You is a cover song. Yeah, that's it. Hey, Dr. Butt Doctor. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Till There Was You is a great cover version of that song. I love it. Fantastic. If I was making a greatest hits of Beatles songs that I would want to make, I would put that on there because it's just a great cover. Their cover of Please Mr. Postman, it's mediocre, I don't know. Wait, oh yeah, wait a minute, Mr. Postman. I'd say the same about their cover of Roll Over Beethoven. But you know, I wouldn't take these songs off the albums because, you know, Chuck Berry made a buttload of money from the Beatles covering his songs on their albums. So, you know, that's pretty cool. You know, he was a big influence on them, and so, like, you know, they covered his song and he got paid for it, so that's pretty sweet. The Beatles did a lot of creepy songs, honestly. That's not even the last of them. Hold Me Tight is a song, it's probably like one of the worst songs that Paul McCartney ever wrote. It's not creepy or anything, it's just like the kind of thing, like if you're gonna write it, it feels so right now, hold me tight, love me na 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 na. It's like if like you told like your coworker to write a song or something, then I don't know, it's just like, yeah, it's definitely worse than that. I like Wonderful Christmas Time, which is not the worst Beatles Christmas song. The worst Beatles Christmas song is a song by George Harrison called Ding Dong, Ding Dong. Look it up. It's real. Alright. The next song is a cover of Smokey Robinson and the Miracles, You Really Got a Hold on Me. It's passable. Definitely doesn't replace the original or anything. The next song is a song that the Beatles wrote for the Rolling Stones called I Wanna Be Your Man, and they let Ringo sing it. Their version is probably better than the Rolling Stones version. It's just, I wanna be your lover, baby. I wanna be your man. I wanna be your lover, baby. I wanna be your man. And that's the Beatles. Devil in Her Heart is like a forgettable cover song. You got a devil in your heart. No, 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 no. It's forgettable, whatever. That's why you don't hear it on the radio, because, like, whatever. Oh, I think Not a Second Time is the Beatles song that has, like, the Aeolian cadences in it. Is that right? Is that... Yeah, there it is. See? It says it right there. Not a second time. So, like... whenever the Beatles did anything that was, like, impressive musically, it was just on accident, which is fine. I'm not talking junk, like... But, like, because they were naturals, but, like, sometimes music people will be like, did the Beatles blah, 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 blah? No, they just listened to a lot of music and then they copied a lot of stuff. The Beatles were, really good at copying good music. So, like, Paul McCartney grew up listening to a bunch of, like, show tunes and stuff, and he integrated that into his thing. John Lennon listened to a lot of movie music, and he integrated that into his thing, and, they just took all those influences and ripped them off and made a collage of, like, they integrated it into rock and roll and made, like, this whole new thing, I guess. Kinda, sort of. And I'm not hating on them for it. That's how new things get made. You take old stuff and you chop it up and put it back together as a new thing, and what the hey, you got, like, this whole new thing. That's totally cool.
Cool.
Cool. So... But yeah, some dude was, like, comparing it to, like, some classical music or something, and, Beatles, they always make a lot of hay about, like, the Beatles can't read music or something, like, oh, who cares? What's next? It's another cover of the song Money. Bum 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 bum. It's not a good cover. I'm sorry. They really tried to make Money a thing. I always played it at their live shows. They played it at their Decca audition that they didn't pass. John Lennon did a concert in 1969 with Eric Clapton where he played this song. Bad. It's just, stop trying to play Money. It's not a good... No. Never. Sorry. Next. Oh, it's A Hard Day's Night. They made a movie out of that. Okay. Well, A Hard Day's Night was one of those Ringo-isms. They said that Ringo said it, and then they made it a thing. Like, okay. And, like, A Hard Day's Night opens up with this chord. It's like, Bling! And, And like all these musicologists are like, oh my god, what is it? It's just a bunch of notes. But apparently it's like, opens up the gates of heaven or something. I don't know. But like as like a song, I mean, it's okay. It's been a hard day's night, and I've been working like a dog. It's been a hard day's night. I should be sleeping like a log. But
Whoa.
yeah. What? But when I get home to you, I find the things that you do will make me feel alright. Wait, is that dirty stuff? I think he's talking about like working hard all day and then he gets home and like gets loving from his lover. I don't know. What's it all for? I should have known better is another harmonica song that grates my ears. I don't like that song. I should have known better with a girl like you. Yeah, this album's just not one of my favorites. I don't like. As I've matured, I've gotten to be more tolerable of early Beatles, but some of it is like if I fell, it's just like elementary. If I fell in love with you, would you promise to be true and help me understand? What has that been? I don't know. It's just boring. Like it's like, I mean, it's like they were trying to write something. Like, oh, we need to write a song about a guy. I don't know. It's not real. And then there's I'm happy just to dance with you. It's okay. It's a song about settling with someone and I don't. What are the lyrics of that song? Let's see. Before this dance is through, I think I'll love you too. I'm so happy when you dance with me. I don't want to kiss or hold your hand. If it's funny, try and understand. There's nothing else I'd rather do, 'cause I'm happy just to dance with you. What does that mean? You just want to dance, but you don't want to kiss or hold hands? You just want to shake your tush to the music? I try not to look at lyrics literally but like it's kind of hard, just like, because you're trying to convey a message, right? And the message is, I just want to dance, but nothing else. So like, if somebody tries to take my place, let's pretend we can't see his face. Like, I don't know. And I Love Her and If I Fell are like the same song to me. I think I don't know, I skipped them both. And I Love Her. It's just Paul McCartney trying to write like a standard, like trying to show off, like, oh, I can write songs. Tell Me Why is actually one of the songs, a lot of people don't like it, but I actually like that song. Tell me why you cried. Yes, it's one of my favorite songs on the album, so Yeah, and then uh, Can't Buy Me Love. Dr. Butt Doctor said they find that grating. It's an okay song. I think they released like an alternate version of it on the anthology that I thought was better, but anytime at all. Anytime at all. Forgettable. I'll Cry Instead is like some sort of country sounding song that John Lennon tried to write. I think he was starting to get into his Bob Dylan thing, but it's, I don't know. Things We Said Today is another Paul McCartney song that I really just don't like. A Hard Day's Night as an album. Like all these songs, I see them and I'm like, man, these are songs I don't like. It's my motto to canvas. What? Crying instead. Oh yeah. When I get home, whoa, why? It's just, but I do like You Can't Do That. I like the guitar riff, but the message of the song is pretty lame. Like, I don't know though. That's back when John Lennon was writing lyrics about like, you know, like you'd get a girlfriend and you'd have to, you basically owned her or whatever. Like, I don't know. But it's got a good guitar riff. But this was, yeah. And I'll Be Back. That song. Ugh. Just, I would probably say this is one of my least favorite Beatles albums. Like, if I had to rate them, like, it's just not, just like even talking about it doesn't feel good. Let's go to the next one. Beatles for Sale. Yeah, this whole era. No Reply. I'm a Loser. Babies in Black. Those are 3 original songs. They're okay. I guess with I'm a Loser, John Lennon was like trying to get more personal with it or something. But like, I don't know. It's like he was trying to be self-deprecating. I guess, you know, it's not a song about love. It's like this cover of rock and roll music is like, it made Chuck Berry a lot more money, but I think the recording doesn't sound that great. Like, that's one thing about like a lot of the Beatles' early recordings is that they're so sloppy. Like, you listen to them and you're like, gosh, you couldn't do that one more time? Like, they'll just like mess up the lyrics and leave it, and you know, like, next, you know. I'll Follow the Sun is Paul trying to write like another classic song. He wrote that one when he was a little boy. Mr. Moonlight's one of those songs that people say they hate, but it's one of my favorite Beatles songs. I would put that on my Beatles greatest hits. So, Mr. Moonlight, check it out. This cover of Kansas City, hey, 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 hey. Ugh. Yeah, check it out. It's really good canvas. 8 days a week is just like the most. It's like if 8 days a week was like a store, it'd be like Best Buy or Walmart. That's just like the most corporate Beatles song ever. Like, they always try to like put it on a pedestal, be like, oh, it was the first rock and roll song to fade up. Like, what? Is that an accolade? Like they've yeah. This cover of Words of Love, it's forgettable. I like Ringo's cover of Honey Don't, I guess, and it made Carl Perkins some money. They did 2 of his songs on this album, so Carl Perkins was a big influence on George Harrison. So he made some bank on this album. I think every little thing, the song has a timpani in it. Let me see. That's one of those big weird drums, right? Yeah, Ringo plays the timpani. Ba-da-bum. So that's notable. I don't want to spoil the party. That's just more... just not good. It's like John Lennon was trying to write all these... He's like, I'm gonna be a rebel and not... I don't know. Just not good. Like, he was trying to break out of the mold, but he was writing stuff like this, and What You're Doing, the song, is just like... Look at Ringo all relaxed. He is very relaxed, ain't he? Just chilling. Look what you're doing. I'm feeling blue and lonely, wondering piece of my... It's just, you know, it exists. It's a song. Their cover of Everybody's Trying to Be My Baby, I'm okay with that. George Harrison sings like the lead vocals and the song's ridiculous. Like, let me see if I can find the lyrics. I wonder if I hope they're not creepier than I remember. Well, they took some honey from a tree, dressed it up, and they called it me. Everybody's trying to be my baby. Yeah, that's fine. Woke up last night, 4:30, 50 women knocking on my door. This is pretty harmless. Yeah, it's an okay song. I just like... Right? Like, I try to picture like somebody with like a bunch of gooey honey, and then they're like trying to put I don't know, like you put a shirt on like some honey and it's all gooey. Like, I just love the imagery of that. Like a plaid shirt, and there's like gooey honey coming down the sleeves, and it's like, you know, do you see it? Like, this is our son. Wonderful. Next. Oh, the Help album. They were getting there. John Lennon said he wrote Help because he needed help. Help. Everyone knows this song. Need somebody help. Not just anybody help. You know I need someone help. When I was younger, so much younger than today, I never needed anybody's help in any way. And now these days are gone, I'm not so self-assured. Now I change my mind and open up the door. It's fine. John Lennon said he wanted to go back and re-record that song and make it slower or something, I don't know. I like The Night Before, the song The Night Before. It's a good song. You've Gotta Hide Your Love Away was John Lennon trying to Bob Dylan his way into a song. I Need You is a really mediocre George Harrison song with a wah-wah pedal that kind of gives me an ice cream headache every time I listen to it for some reason. You ever get an ice cream headache from a song? That song gives me an ice cream headache, kind of like when I listen to the band Portishead. Another Girl is like another song. You're Gonna Lose That Girl is basically like the song She Loves You, but with more words. Ticket to Ride is a good song. I feel like that's like a bridge between like the early Beatles and the later Beatles. It's got a good guitar riff. I like John Lennon's vocals on it. Some people say that like they're actually saying Ticket to Rye, like, which is like a place in England, and then they changed it to Ride. I don't know. Act Naturally is a country cover song sung by Ringo, and I'm glad that it exists. It's really, I like it. It's Only Love is the #1 worst John Lennon song ever written. Like, it's just like, no, it's #2. I would say it's #2. The #1 song is one of his solo songs that I won't talk about here, but this is just, I get high when I see you go by, my oh my. When you sigh, my inside just flies, butterflies. Why am I so shy when I'm beside you? It's only love and that is all. Why should I feel the way I do? It's only love and that is all. But it's so hard loving you. John Lennon the genius, everyone. Is it right that you and I should fight every night? Just the sight of you makes nighttime bright, very bright. Haven't I the right to make it up, girl? It's only love, and that is all. Why should I feel the way I do? It's only love, and that is all. But it is so hard loving you. Yes, it's so hard loving you. Loving you. Just bad. Just terrible. 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 No, this is very real. And it is like world-renowned songwriter John Lennon wrote these lyrics and put them out on an album that sold millions of copies. And then everyone... It's just bad. Terrible. And then George Harrison was like, well, what about this song? That's how he talked back then. Hey guys, I'm George Harrison. Though you've gone away this morning, you'll be back again tonight. Telling me there'll be no next time if you don't, if I just don't treat you right. Ugh. Yeah. And people are like, whoa, John and Paul wouldn't let him put his songs on the albums. Do you see this? This is the one they let him put on an album. And it's nice when you believe me. If you leave me, I will follow you and bring you back where you belong. 'Cause I couldn't really stand it. I'd admit that I was... Oh my god. Like... And, you know, I'll go ahead and interject again. I'm a huge Beatles fan. That's why I'm doing this. I have to do this. You know, 'cause like... Because I even ask myself sometimes, Alex, what's wrong with you? Like, what is... Really? Are you sure? Tell me what you see. It's okay. I like the harmonies on that one. Like... I've Just Seen a Face is a good song. They actually put that one on Rubber Soul in America instead of Help. Because, like, in America they chopped all the albums up and made their own albums or whatever, and I think I've Just Seen a Face is probably one of the best songs on the British Help, so that's fine. Because there's a bunch of malarkey on it, so... And then of course there's Yesterday, which is, you know, a song that Paul McCartney wrote about scrambled eggs, and, you know, a bunch of people recorded it, and blah 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 blah. Dizzy Miss Lizzy was a rock and roll cover song that they recorded just for the Americans. It's not great. It's whatever it is. So... And then it's on to Rubber Soul. Rubber Soul. Drive My Car is just, you know... I mean, they started getting better on this album. I like Drive My Car. It's like a nice little rock and roll song, and I guess it's like full of innuendo or whatever. Norwegian Wood is like a song John Lennon wrote about an affair he had, and George Harrison plays the sitar on it. And it's kind of nice, I guess. I like it. You Won't See Me. It's like weird because if you listen to that song, like they keep getting slower and slower until it gets to the end, but I don't know if they're doing it on purpose. But that song just goes on forever. Like it says it's like 3 minutes and 18 seconds, and it seems like 3 hours. Nowhere Man is good and classic and has nice harmonies. Think for Yourself is like kind of a good start with George Harrison, you know, like he's sort of getting there, you know, like, but the lyrics, like you see Think for Yourself and you're like, okay, that's pretty good, but you go to the lyrics, it's like, I've got a word or two to say about the things that you do. You're telling all those lies about the good things that we can have if we close our eyes. And then it like goes into this boogie. It's like, do what you wanna do, and go where you're going to. Think for yourself, 'cause I won't be there with you. What is the message here? I left you far behind, the ruins of the life that you had in mind. Like, what happened? And though you still can't see, I know your mind's made up, you're gonna cause more misery. Something happened there, and I don't know what it was. The word is like really corny. It's like the word is love. It's not even good. Michelle is like Paul McCartney trying to write like another Yesterday, and he sings in French on it. It's like, sont des mondes qui vont trop bien ensemble, très bien ensemble. He's just trying to be cute. It's not cute, Paul. What Goes On was like the Beatles trying to rewrite Act Naturally. Ringo sings it. He actually gets writing credit on that song. And it's just bad. What's that dude's name? Sufjan Stevens. He covered that song, and it's really good. He actually took one of the worst Beatles songs and, you know, made it good. So good for him. Girl is a John Lennon song that's just like John Lennon was trying to write a story song that he was always talking junk about. I don't know. It's kind of trifling, if you ask me. I'm Looking Through You is just like Paul McCartney being like, oh, I'm gonna write a song. And then he writes a song, you know, like, it's like, oh, we need a song, fellas. And then he writes I'm Looking Through You. That's all that is. It's ignorable in my opinion. In My Life is a good song. I feel like maybe John Lennon was trying to, like, you know, write a good song, and it kind of has hints of that, but it's fine. It's fine. I mean, it's kind of like, you know, pedestrian, but it's good. It's good. Good job, John Lennon. You did a good job. Wait is bad. It's like a filler song. Like it was from the Help album, but they didn't even finish it, but they needed another song for Rubber Soul, and they're like, wait, we got Wait. If I Needed Someone is actually one of my favorite George Harrison Beatles songs. No joke. I like the melody. I mean, the lyrics aren't super deep, but like, I don't know, I like it. Like there's a video of them doing it in Japan and it's all out of tune and stuff and it's great. Run for Your Life is just awful, bad, terrible, just the worst. Like the opening lyrics of that is like, well, I'd rather see you dead, little girl, than to be with another man. Like, it's just awful. And he like stole that from like an Elvis song or something. It's just terrible. Like, what were you thinking? Gee willikers. Then we get to the good stuff. Revolver. The first song is Taxman. George Harrison was like upset because he was rich now and he had to pay taxes. Or he was, oh no, gotta pay your taxes. Eleanor Rigby's, you know, just, it's nice. Good job. I'm Only Sleeping. I think it's a good song. Good song, John Lennon. You made a good song. I like it. Love You Too was George Harrison's first Indian flavored song. Musically, it's pretty great, but I mean, he doesn't, you know, there's no Beatles playing music on this song. What are the lyrics? I think the lyrics might be, each day just goes so fast, I turn around and it's past. You don't get time to hang a sign on me. That's not bad. Love me while you can, before I'm a dead old man. A lifetime is so short, a new one can't be bought. That's kind of like a questionable rhyme. But what you've got means such a lot to me. There's people standing round who'll screw you in the ground. They'll fill you in with all their sins, you'll see. I'll make love to you, if you want me to. Well, I'm glad. It's always good to get consent, so good for him. Here, There, and Everywhere is a very nice love song. It's very nice. Everyone knows Yellow Submarine. It's silly, and that's okay. I like it. She Said, She Said is weird, and it's real, and I think it's good. It's like in a weird time signature and all this stuff. It's good. Good Day's Sunshine is a good day's sunshine. I like it. And Your Bird Can Sing has some good stuff, I guess. The lyrics are kind of silly, but the music is fine. For No One is like a sad kind of song, and the drums are really tiny. Like if you listen to it, you're like, I can kind of hear the drums, but it's okay. Dr. Robert is a song that the Beatles wrote because their doctor gave them like LSD, so they wrote a song about it. But It's not their best work, honestly. I want to tell you, oh yeah, George Harrison got 3 songs on this album.
Whoa.
Yeah. Coming up. I like I Want to Tell You. It's a good song. It's got like this weird piano that like insists upon itself. It's pretty good. Got to Get You Into My Life is just, you know, Paul McCartney wrote that song about marijuana or whatever, and it's got horns, and if you like dancing and stuff, like it's good for that. And then Tomorrow Never Knows is just, you know, it's out there, and that's that. So, you know, they were trying to be out there, and they did it. You did it, Beatles. You made it out there. Sergeant Pepper. Okay. So many words. Look at this. Gee whiz. Okay. The actual title song and its reprise is fine. You know, it's whatever. With a little help from my friends is a great song. I'm glad they wrote it. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. I feel like they were always trying to say it wasn't about LSD, but and that I don't know. I don't believe them. Getting Better, Fixing a Hole. Both of those are great songs. She's Leaving Home is like a Sears commercial, but that's okay, you know. You gotta do what you gotta do. And like Being for the Benefit of Mr. Kite is like a circus song, and you know, they were just doing whatever. They were having a good time and they wanted to make some fun sounds, and they did. Within You Without You is like George Harrison doing some more Indian music, and it's, you know, if you can stomach it, it's good. The musicians who play on it are very talented. It's not everybody's thing, but it's fine. When I'm 64 is like, you know, it sounds like vaudeville or something, but I like it. My favorite song on that album is Lovely Rita, and I like Good Morning also. And they remixed this album recently, and I think it sounds great. A Day in the Life is a good recording, I guess. So yes. Oh my god, there's so many more stuffs to get through. And then there's, oh man, there's like the Magical Mystery Tour, and it's not even listed here. There's the White Album, Abbey Road, and Let It Be. Dear God, so many songs. This reminds me of that clip show that I said I was gonna do back in the day, and I'm like, not the last clip show, but like when I was, you just never know how many there are of a thing until you start doing a thing. But I didn't know that there were... Okay. Yeah, I don't see myself going through all these right now. Like, I'm thinking about a snack and, you know, kind of have to go tinkle, and if I sat here, I wouldn't be giving it my best shot, because I'd just be thinking about that snack and how I have to tinkle, you know? So maybe I'll get back to those another time. Dear Prudence is a great song. I love the White Album. I will say that the White Album is probably my favorite Beatles album. I even like Revolution 9, unironically. So, like, that's pretty cool. I think Abbey Road is great. But the White Album is where it's at. It's all over the place, just like me. So heck yeah. Heck yes. Alright, I know I petered out there, but that's a lot of talking. And I don't want to put everyone to sleep on a Friday night. And I really could use a snack, so... I think that that sound means it is snack time. I am going to snack, get some fresh air, and tinkle, and I'll be back tonight. And I think I'm gonna get back to playing video games. So, hell yeah. But thank you guys for bearing with me through that. I needed to see if I could do it. I was kind of putting my own self to sleep, Petra, to be honest. So, yeah. So, I'm glad you had fun. Thank you guys for sitting through all that. I feel like it's like, oh, welcome to my TED Talk that I'm gonna make up on the spot, my Alex Talk. Well, that was my TED Talk. If I had a TED Talk, that was it, and it sucked, so good for me. But I had to do it, you know? I've been sitting here my whole life thinking that I gotta do it, and I did it. I did it.
Neat.
Yep. Alright. Well, I'll be back in a little bit, a little while. I'll let you guys know on the Discord when I'm coming back. I'll be back tonight sometime, doing something or other. We'll see. But thank you guys so much for doing that. Was it? You really think so? Aw, thanks. I did it. Woo! Alright, well, I'll be back. I want to play games and stuff, so I'll let you guys know. But thanks for watching. I love y'all. Don't...
Goodbye.